not in a way to create conflict or anything, but hey, listen, this is the reason I believe the way I believe. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in the capitalistic system of gaining prosperity. I don't believe in DEI. I believe in meritocracy. You earn what you get, and not everybody's going to win in the game, but there's going to be people that apply themselves with the right attitudes, the right belief systems, and the right actions to gain and become a Donald Trump, a billionaire, or become somebody like my son that is in that realm as well. So, being successful is not easy. And being successful is also a target for those that don't have. And they usually attack those that have, and in their principles, their politics, or whatever. So I'm not afraid anymore. That's why we said, Mark, and we're talking about something that could be controversial to Facebook.
They're the people at Facebook or YouTube are going, oh, they're borderline. I think that those are valid points. When you become successful, everybody comes after you. And again, I'll use the sporting analogy. Everybody last year was out to beat Alabama. Okay, they got up for them. And this year it's Georgia, and Kentucky almost put the hurt to them. So that's just how it is. That's part of the process, whether you like it or not. There's that word, process. Never thought I'd say that word so much. Sorry, Nick Saban. But, those are the things that you got to deal with. And some things are not always enjoyable. It could mean, your relationship with neighbors, family, how you communicate with one another. And I'm the first one to tell you, I don't want to play in that game, get all upset. You believe what you believe. But I think that some of our elder statesmen in the political arena, and I'll go back to Nixon, who even liked John Connally. He was a Democrat, by the way. He would have loved to have that guy for his VP, but he couldn't. And Tom, you know why? Because John Connally was a Democrat. But there was a lot of bipartisan things happening. And
look what just happened with Robert Kennedy. He's now supporting Trump,
right?
Because the old party of his family isn't what it is.
I think those guys would sit down after hours and maybe have a drink at the bar or behind closed doors and talk, just like you and I are. They're from different parties, but they didn't hate one another. I mean, there's almost like a hate. And it's so stupid to play that game on both sides of the fence. I truly mean that.
I agree.
Don't fall in that trap. That's being ignorant. And, I believe people are better than that. Just to get a vote, you're going to say this, thus, or so. Don't fall into that trap, please.
Yeah, I'm voting for lower taxes, a secure border again, which was accomplished by Trump. I know he can do it again. Just re-implement some policies and procedures, a safer world. There's no wars going on. We didn't have to worry about Iran. We don't have to worry about Ukraine and Russia doing a nuclear. We don't have to worry about China being on the verge of creating a nuclear war because we had strong leadership. Somebody that had, I call huevos rancheros. Balls on a piece of steak,
Man, I've heard that. Tom's going all out, man. He's like letting it rip, man. Wow. But no, seriously, that's my claim to fame. Please get out there and vote. If you're legal and you're registered, and if you're not registered, get registered. And there's no excuse not to vote. And when I said legal, that you make sure you go through the proper processes. Don't show up that day and not be registered. That can be a little embarrassing. I've seen that, with people. It eventually, they made it work, but what a nightmare. It's some scary stuff. And Robert says, when I was watching the debate, I didn't watch alone, nor did I hold back. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine.
He's not even here in the
Now,
States. What
now
happened?
Robert's in Canada, and Canada has some funky rules with their law enforcement, what you can and can do. And they don't always embrace the First Amendment to the nth degree, much less the Fourth Amendment. And Robert could probably share a story or two, illegal
There's
searches.
a lot of unhappy Canadians right now with the. He says, "Pray for Canada."
Yeah, yeah,
Because the liberties have been stripped away.
yeah,
The truck. I mean, you name it. I mean, they have a tyrannical bureaucracy that is squashing people's freedoms, and we could be down that same path. And I value my freedoms, my liberties, the ability for me to speak my mind in a non-threatening way. I don't believe in any of that. If you don't vote the way I do, I'm going to come and kick your butt, then, or whatever, or I'm going to come and shoot you because you're running for a position that I'm threatened by. I mean,
right.
that's crazy. Making other people what they're not. They're lying about people, who they are, and what they're about. That's criminal in itself. And I'm all about our free speech, but that's why you do have free speech laws as well. You can't scream fire in a crowded theater, can you?
Sure.
So,
and I think what you're talking about, Tom, is being responsible. If you have even if you're running a business, you have to be responsible. Or if you're an employee working for an organization, you have a responsibility to perform, and you have to leave your personal stuff at home. And when you show up at your place of business, or if you're the CEO of your own business, you got to forget about that stuff and go out and execute and perform. And I think sometimes people have problems with that. You can't bring personal and public always into private, but it just doesn't work too well. That's just my take on it. I know we all have bad days, but you can't take it out on your coworker or your associates if you're the boss within your organization, just because you're having a bad day. It's not fair to everybody else. And I hope. Oh, it says, as I engage on X, there may be a few political observations in between the normal posts. That's Robert. That's kind of funny, but it's I don't know, Tom. After reading the book, I'm not just about done, but I go back 50 years. I would love to see what guys like, Nixon, whether it's Conley, whether it's LBJ, Kennedy, if they could take a look at what's going on in both parties, and they would probably look at one another and say, what in the world has happened here? What is going on? Why can people not communicate? Where is this hate coming from? Why do we have it?
Yeah, I believe we have more in common than is allowed us to have in common.
Yeah, like Tip O'Neill and Reagan got along.
Somebody that's progressive or liberal or whatever, they want the best for their family. I want the best.
Sure,
absolutely. I want the best economic opportunity I can create for myself. I don't expect to be handed it, and I don't want to hand anything to somebody else who hasn't earned it either.
Right.
But we all basically want the same thing. How we get there, we got to have a meeting of mind and hearts.
Right.
And make decisions that are beneficial to all.
Right.
There's no one solution that's beneficial to everybody. And on those on the left, there's only one winner. That's the elite bureaucrats. They're the ones that are fearful of Trump and the free enterprise system.
That would be like
they got a lot to lose, and they know they're going to be a target.
I just thought about something, Tom. So the next game I do, which will be tomorrow night, when a kid gets behind the plate, maybe I should say, okay, is your dad a Republican or a Democrat? Before I call balls and strikes on him. I'm teasing.
Yeah, the coaches that. Really
I'm teasing. Well, wait a minute. How are you going to vote? Oh, man, you can forget that, man. No, I wouldn't do that. But your point's well taken. You've got to be judicious and fair and treat everybody equally and treat them with dignity and respect. And don't believe everything that you see on that idiotic box. It used to be called the boob tube, but People now stream on it. They do this
Do
on
some
it.
research.
Yeah. Just do your own homework. Yeah. I
Yeah.
do continue to recommend a mod on a channel I engage with regularity to be kind of be kind to the umpire, he says. Okay. Yeah. Anything else, Tom, that you want to share?
That's
That you
it. That's it.
man,
You dancing
Tom,
tonight?
no, because Gina's foot. We're still not quite there yet. But with that said, I'll mention his name here, my counterpart here, Tom Ginn. Check out some of his stuff about UPF fundraising. It's pretty cool stuff. As you know, and it's happened recently, and Tom will share this. I didn't even share this with you. I did not know that we were talking about Hulu and who owns what, and I guess Disney owns some of these channels, and we couldn't get certain games in our area, baseball or SEC. I guess they came to terms and made some sort of an agreement. So as I was sitting there, that's why I said we need to get rid of this direct TV or whatever TV and take a look at some of these channels that are out there. And Q happens to be one of them.
Yeah, Q Communications is a streaming home entertainment platform that is bringing more content for less money, bottom line.
Right.
So if you, whether it be
$60 if you round it off, am I right?
$60 for sake of roundup. About half the price what the average person spending in their home entertainment streaming products. That could be Netflix, Hulu,
right,
Roku, you name it, Disney, all that. The average family spending about $1,300 a year. This platform gives you more content of other things you're looking for, including paid per view without any additional charges. So those that are into boxing matches and all that crazy stuff I don't want to get into, that, what do they call that?
Martial and the cage fighting, the martial
cage fighting, whatever, UCF stuff or whatever it is.
Yeah, UC, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all that's there at no additional charge. All your local channels, all your national channels, all your old sitcoms, 30,000 movies. I looked up a couple movies over the weekend here and put it in the search and found it, and boom, watched it. I go, wow, that's cool. Plus,
Awesome.
I got to watch the Badgers, which I normally wouldn't have been able to watch without going to the bar.
You'd have to go to the bar, but you get to watch. You got to watch it. Did you stream it from your mobile device or whatever to the TV?
I streamed it to my computer here. So
okay. Were you sick watching that game after about the third quarter, or what'd you do?
Well, after Van Dyke went out in the first quarter, I knew it was all downhill from there. So they had a chance with him in the game, the way he throws and the way he can run. He's a top-notch quarterback.
No, I'm not making fun of Wisconsin, please, but that was not an enjoyable thing to watch.
Alabama is the closest thing to being a pro team there is. The talent they have on those teams.
Yeah, I don't really know if they missed a step, and who knows, they might be in the thick of it this year in the playoff system.
I would put my money on them based on this. I haven't seen Georgia play, but Georgia's ranked number one.
They're good. They're good. I want to see how they coexist together when I think it's 26th or whatever it is they play. They're going to play one another. Yeah, and it is in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, I guess it's. Did I mess up here? Is it the 20? Whatever. It's coming up here soon.
Yeah.
I'm not a fanatical college football fan or a pro football fan. I'd
rather watch college than the pros any day. So
yeah, absolutely. Anything else, Tom?
That's it, my friend.
So do you feel better? I mean, you got it all out, man. You left it all.
I feel better when I know the outcome on the November election day.
Whoops. And with that,
no matter what the outcome is, I'm ready to roll with the tide, whatever it is. I've positioned myself to have additional streams of income. So when inflation goes up, I can tap into that resource and leverage the economy. I'm still, I'm a full blown capitalist entrepreneur, and those on the progressive side don't like that side of society. They want everybody to have equal, and I don't believe in equal. I believe in equal opportunity, but I don't believe in equal outcomes. You make the outcomes based on your merit, your meritocracy, what you put into it, and get rewarded for it accordingly. That's my position. Do nothing, get nothing. Plain and simple. So with that all said, we are done, my friend.
And this guy, Tom Ginn's, being hardcore, everybody, it's making me look like, a weak person. No, all kidding aside, I appreciate you sharing your passion about that. And you brought up some great points. I will throw this up here again. If you ever want to read some heavy duty manuscript, get this book. I was able to go through thrift books, got it from a library. There it is. Look at that. And that's Dwight Chapin with the man himself, Richard Nixon. And it's a great, great, great book. I never thought I'd read a book about that. And I don't know what triggered it in my mind, but I guess when I reached out to Dwight and he said, "Hey, Mark, 50 years, August the 8th, that's when it was in the summer. And just something triggered. And I said, man, I need to get that book and read it. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, there's some parallels in history going on between that era and today's era as well.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Human nature is predictable.
And Dwight, if you are listening, that's why we'd like you to come on, just to talk to us, because the things that you have been through, tremendous, but the things you can share with us and younger people younger than us. We never know where this is going to go, who's going to share, or say, who are these idiots on YouTube or Facebook, or whether it's LinkedIn, get them off the air. But that's why we do this. And, next week we'll have a guest, obviously.
In the following week, we have Dan Altmeyer and his book, Planning for the Thing in Life That Most People Don't Want to Face, is your end of life strategy, nurturing home or whatever, those type of things. So he'll be talking about how to address that. And that's an area we spend more time planning for our vacations. Most people don't spend any time planning for their retirement, and almost zero people plan for. Just go to a nursing home. Ask yourself, do you want to be in that situation? And economics determine whether you're in that situation or not. So you got to plan for it economically. So he's written a book on that, planning for that, so that you live your end of life with dignity.
That's a cool book.
Yeah. So
that's kind of neat. And what I'm going to do here, just for fun and games, I'm going to put this, see if it'll work. Let's see if I put this out here, see if this happens. Okay, let's see if this. And next week should be Thomas Fries. He's the president of Pinpoint Local here in Norcross, digital marketing agency. So he deals with mid-sized, smaller companies and helping them, get a leg up on what's out there in the business, entrepreneur himself. And Tom, and I know you and Thomas will have a lot in common to talk about.
Cool. Can't wait to meet him.
And he's, I will say this, I'll preface this. I know he is a Michigan fan, Big Blue. So, because we already had our fundraiser in August. It's like a big tailgate thing that PCBA does. And he always wears that big blue. So he's a big fan. And, but neat guy. And again, before I leave you, Peachtree Corners, I'm throwing out the challenge. You don't even have to be a member of the PCBA. If you're in Peachtree Corners, man, hit me up. You know where I'm at. Some of you guys, you're doing things out there. I don't care if you're taking hikes or you're recovering from a surgery and you went on and ran a marathon, or we've got some guys here that are pretty unique individuals. We've got I know a gentleman, I won't mention your name, Rick, but an ex-Navy SEAL. We'd love to hear your story. And these are the type of people that, we're looking to come engage with us and talk to us, what they're doing out there. Because they go through everything we go through, Tom. We think because people are up here maybe financially or physically or whatever, that they don't have problems, and guess again, you know.
We all have challenges
Yep.
somewhere in
Yep.
our lives, always. So,
Well, that's all I got. I'm talked out, and I'm impressed that Mr. Tom Ginn stepped up to the plate, and he probably hit a grand slam plus tonight. Tom shared really how he feels about what's going on in our world today, from an election perspective to your business, what you need to consider and think about for your future, not only your future, your families, as well as everyone else in this country. So
yeah.
I appreciate that, Tom.
Thank you. Well, with all said, my friend, I'll play our exit and we'll sign out.
Beautiful.
Might get excited playing this video again here.